Thank you, Chairman Smith and Ranking Member Bonamici, distinguished members, for the opportunity and privilege to present to you today on this very, very important topic. As mentioned, I'm Dave Titley, and I currently am a professor of practice at meteorology at the Pennsylvania State University and the founding director of the Center for Solutions to Weather and Climate Risk. I'm here in my personal capacity today, and the views that I represent are mine. In the Navy, we have, I'm just going to talk, it's much, much easier. In the Navy, we have a saying called the bottom line up front. And it's like, just tell me what I really, really need to know. So here, sir, is the way that I see the salient points for today's hearing. The first is that the climate change is very real. I was very, very encouraged, sir, to hear from your opening statement, your numerous quotes from the IPCC. The IPCC shows that the climate is, in fact, warming. We see that in the temperature record, in both the air and the ocean. And as you, I'm sure, know, 90% of the heat is, in fact, in the ocean. It's kind of the Willie Sutton theory. Why do we study it? It's where the heat is. The ice is collapsing. We see the ecosystems moving. We see the sea level rising. If you look at any one of these individually, you can sometimes try to figure out, well, what's going on here? But when you put it all together, it gets pretty hard to come up with something other than that the climate is changing. And we know the basics. We certainly still have questions on the details, like tornadoes, like typhoons, but we kind of understand the basics. I mean, this is cutting-edge 19th century science. Fourier, Tyndall, Arnhus all figured this stuff out in the 19th century. If you take a look at Jim Hansen's model that climate model he published in Nature magazine in 1980, it showed the rise in temperature. In fact, he was too conservative. The temperature, the global temperature, has actually risen more than what Hansen projected. And some models are going to be too slow, some are going to be too aggressive. I think there's a saying called all models are wrong, but some are useful. So what can we actually tell out of these models? So, I mean, it's hopefully we're doing more than just like look at individual models because, you know, frankly, you don't need a brain to do that. But we understand the science, we understand the physics, we understand then what the models can help us in, and we kind of look at this in a risk framework. I mean, again, we're all sort of victims of our past circumstance, and mine is national security. I spent 32 years in the Navy. So I kind of look at this as the way that we looked at security issues in the national defense realm. We did not necessarily wait for that extreme event. I mean, imagine if this was a terrorism hearing in the summer of 2000. What would we say? Well, we'd say we've had a few events, you know, some people in Africa, we had a bombing in the World Trade Center in the 90s, but we really haven't seen a big signal. Is that where we want to be on climate? Do we want to wait for that catastrophic signal to then say, oh my God, now we need to do things? So I kind of see the system blinking red here. And why do I say that? Warmer oceans, moisture atmosphere, warmer air temperatures. Does it mean that we've seen that catastrophic signal? No. But the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. So we don't know, and there's a big, big difference between not knowing versus saying, well, since we haven't seen anything, therefore it's not going to happen. So I kind of would look for a risk management strategy. I was very happy, sir, to hear about the Weather Forecasting Improvement Act. As you may know, the Department of Defense and Department of Navy have funded, starting with President's Budget 13, a program called Earth System Prediction Capability. It is interagency. NOAA is participating. I would strongly encourage and hope that the committee can help NOAA further participate in that, along with NASA, Department of Energy, and Department of Defense. The idea is to get better at everything from 0 hours, or today's forecast, to about 30 years, because this is where, in the real world, we make our budgets, we make our decisions. It's sort of, our infrastructure decisions. If you're a city planner, if you're an emergency manager, seasons, years, that's where we need to better that intersection of weather and climate. As Dr. Christy said, there's a lot to learn there, and I hope we can help out. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr.